Antonio was still recovering from the M100 he and his friend Brian lit on July 5th. We asked him if he had ever played with firecrackers before.
No, but I seen them.
You had seen them?
I knew it was a firecracker, but I didn't know which kind of firecracker.
Antonio found the M100 in the gutter on the way to Brian's house.
Look what I found.
Me, where'd you find it at?
By the sewer.
They've learned their lesson the hard way and aren't interested in fireworks anymore.
I don't like them.
I don't like them at all.
So, what advice would Antonio give to some kids now if they had a firecracker?
They're crazy.
The 4th of July marks the anniversary of our Declaration of Independence. It's a time for picnics and outdoor fun. But fireworks, for all their patriotic association, pose a serious safety hazard. Death, blindness, and severe burns have been the result of many 4th of July celebrations.
In Contra Costa County, it is illegal to possess, sell, or discharge all fireworks. This includes the so-called safe and sane fireworks such as these that are often sold in neighboring counties during the 4th of July holiday. Violators can be fined up to $1,000 and sentenced to 1 year in a county jail. Fireworks which are designated as dangerous include anything that explodes or flies through the air. Examples of dangerous fireworks are firecrackers such as these, M80s, and bottle rockets. The sale, possession, or discharge of these fireworks, depending on the amounts, can constitute a felony and may be punishable with 1 or more years in a state prison and $10,000 in fines.
Sylvia Smart, Brian's mother, received a call from her 13-year-old son saying, "You gotta get home quick." When Sylvia arrived on the scene, this is what she saw.
It was chaotic. I had paramedics running around everywhere. I had towels, bloody towels everywhere, and bandages all over on the floor. And I saw Brian laying on the floor crying, and he could just say, "I'm sorry, Mom, I'm sorry."
What happened is I heard this big noise, a big explosion, and I went outside. When I did get there, I saw Anthony sitting on a chair, but all he could say was, "I don't know, I don't know."
Antonio admits he's never played with firecrackers before.
No, but I seen them.
Yeah, I think I've seen my dad lit one off, but it was like a little tiny one and it sparked.
Anthony had been warned that firecrackers can cause danger. Anthony had been warned that he was not supposed to touch them. But warning a child and a child making up their own decision are two different things.
M100s, M80s, cherry bombs, and silver salutes contain up to 200 times the amount of explosives allowed in legal products. Most people still don't know that all fireworks have been banned from Contra Costa County and most of California for more than 20 years. The warning labels state the facts, but are rarely read. It is surprising to realize that a single sparkler burns at a whopping 1,800 degrees and can ignite clothing in seconds.
The whole accident has affected us in the way that we bring up our child. We were close, but now we've gotten closer. We have learned that just telling your children doesn't always work, that sometimes you need to sit down and explain to them the outcomes. His eyes, right now, Anthony's, his left eye had gotten plastic embedded in it. His right eye has plastic that had scratched it. Now he's gone to the eye doctors, and they tell him that he still has fragments still in his eyes.
Because of the extent of the hole, they thought they would have to do a skin graft. We've been having it kept clean and sterile. It's been, a month now, and they thought maybe 2 weeks before they have to do surgery again. But it's healing up pretty well that they think that won't need to do that.
Not only do safe and sane fireworks cause bodily damage, they also cause hundreds of structure fires and millions of dollars in property damage. This Concord home burned to the ground last July 4th from a misguided bottle rocket. Remember when we spoke to those elementary school kids? We asked these 8-year-olds if they found a firecracker, what would they do with it?
I would give it to an adult. To
my mom.
To an adult.
Throw it in the garbage.
I'll ask my dad to pick it up and throw it away.
Most of them said they'd tell an adult. The others said they'd throw it away. But what about the other children, teens, and adults who aren't aware of the danger?
Every year, fireworks are responsible for numerous burns, blindings, and amputations. Many children and adults are not aware of the dangers of fireworks. A single spark from a safe and sane type firework can ignite dry grass and endanger lives and property. To avoid possible injury, fire, or citation, leave the fireworks to the professionals. Attend a community display and have a safe and happy 4th.
I don't know, to a parent, you can't stress it enough, but to the kids, it's just not worth it. If you don't know what you got there, you know, it's just not worth it.
What I would do is I would tell the young boys and young girls that if they see firecrackers or they see anything that could bring harm to them, leave it be, tell your parents, and I would tell the parents to make sure that they emphasize to the children that it not only harms them, but let them know what happens afterwards, because kids don't understand that.
Hi, my name is Mark Draper, and on July 5th at approximately 1500 hours, we responded to a report of a gunshot wound in the city limits of Brentwood. When we arrived on the scene, we found one child lying in the front living room with a leg wound. Upon asking where the person was with the gun, we were advised that this was an explosive device. Upon checking further, we found a second child with much worse injuries than the original child. We had called for a life flight helicopter to respond to take these children to the hospital. My partner took care of the child with the minor leg wound. Myself and the Brentwood police officer who was on scene worked on the child with the injuries to the face, hands, chest, and legs. We further found out that this child had extensive injuries to the face and chest with an open chest wound. American Medical Response paramedic unit responded, arrived on scene, and took over patient care from us.
They both suffered a great deal of pain and misery for that split second of what was supposed to be excitement. Instead, that brief moment of anxiety turned ugly and has scarred them forever.
Mom changes it like a half hour before. I had to take a pill called Vicodin to help it like not hurt me. And when I go to my appointments, they had to scrape it because a whole bunch of cream was in there. They had to put lots of numb stuff on it to scrape it, and still it hurt.
Brian was luckier than Antonio because he was further away from the explosion. Unfortunately for Antonio, he had to spend 3 days in the hospital.
What happened is when after all this happened, they wanted him to get up and walk. It was really painful. He wouldn't even move his leg. He actually wanted his dad to carry him, and the nurses said no, he had to walk. So what they actually told him is you would not get out of the hospital until you walked.
I mean, I'm hoping they have better sense now, and I hope he learned something from this, and it's not worth it. It's just, it has ruined his summer. He starts school next week, and we have a swimming pool. He hasn't been able to swim yet.
I'd like to express to all the children out there that when we're talking about an explosive device, it's very important that you turn that into the local authorities as soon as possible. Better yet, call the local police department or the fire department and let us handle it. Do not try to handle it, leave it where you find it, and call us. Explosives can be very dangerous, and in this case, this child was very lucky that it didn't cause further injury or death.
To a parent, you can't stress it enough, but to the kids, it's just not worth it. If you don't know what you got there, you know, it's just not worth it. These kids don't know what they have, and I mean, or teenagers that leave it lying around. That's they may think it's fun, but you know, these other kids are the ones that find them, and unfortunately they're the ones that get hurt.
In fact, I was very fortunate that my child's life was still there.